Hey guys, Zen here, and the industry is doing yet another big 180, and these mega companies are starting to introduce things into games that the core gamer just isn't grabbing onto. But is it all just one big misunderstanding, and do we all just not get it yet? Well, apparently that's a big part of the outrage, and we're gonna speak on it. Also, the war for content is heating up even further, and another studio gets swallowed up. And the 6th Invitational, it reveals the Year 7 roadmap, and it could kick off with a brand new map offering. Let's discuss. So, NFTs, the metaverse, cryptocurrency, and video games. This has become possibly the biggest talking point throughout the entire industry, and companies like Square Enix and Ubisoft are going all in and adding these digital items to their games. Essentially, an NFT is a one-of-a-kind digital token with its own serial number and the ability to trace it back to the original owner in the blockchain. If all things line up, it's worth something, and these game makers have been pretty aggressive with a strategy to add them to their games. Ubisoft have already launched Ubisoft Quartz, a program tailor-made for NFTs that actually allows gamers to buy and sell them through their marketplace. They started with Ghost Recon Breakpoint, but it could end up in Rainbow Six Siege. And yes, they have received more than an earful after the announcement, and you'd think they might re-strategize. With all the negativity around the announcement from the core gamer and the media to an extent, maybe they'd go back to the drawing board or do like some other companies and just pull the plug on it and fall back into the good graces of the gamer. But they do have a response. Gamers don't get it when it comes to NFTs. An executive at Ubisoft, one of the leading traditional entertainment and video game companies, has issued his opinion on the cold shoulder that fans and gamers have offered to NFTs. In an interview with Finder, Nicolas Pouard, who is in charge of blockchain developments at the company, stated that gamers still don't understand the benefits that these elements might bring to them. He said, "I think gamers don't get what a digital secondary market can bring to them. For now, because of the current situation and context of NFTs, gamers really believe it's first destroying the planet, and second, just a tool for speculation." So there is a lot in this quote, but I'll start with the fact that it's entirely true that the implementation of NFTs in gaming is a bit of a mystery. I can admit here in this video that even I don't fully see how it's so game-changing or what additional creativity can be sparked from adding them. At this point, at least from Ubisoft's program, we've only really heard about microtransactions that have serial numbers, essentially. I can see how if a person desires an item that's no longer available in game and someone else has it, they might be willing to pay for that. And then if that specific serial number was tied to some crazy event, then it could be worth even more. But that's really it. So I agree, we don't get it. And it's up to the people pulling these strings to make it clear and show the value up front, or else the community is going to always reject it. And so far, I think everyone trying to explain that value has failed at that. And let's be honest, even if we all see monkeys with sunglasses, NFTs and crypto are climbing into billions of dollars, and companies want a slice of that cake. So the next story is one that's becoming more and more common, but is still a huge deal every time it happens. Now, as you know, Microsoft is acquiring Activision Blizzard for a purse of $70 billion. It's the largest acquisition in entertainment history and gives Xbox some of gaming's biggest franchises. They now own Call of Duty, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Crash Bandicoot, Guitar Hero, and so many more. It's still mind-blowing. But Sony wasn't giving up so many games and studios without some kind of answer to it, and so they just announced that they've bought Bungie, the legendary developer of Destiny and Xbox's own Halo, for $3.6 billion. This brings Bungie in as another PlayStation-owned studio, and it's actually a bigger get than you might think. So, of course, everyone knows about Destiny. It's Bungie's current live game, and there's a roadmap for the next few years already in place for it. The future of Destiny actually won't change much, if at all. Bungie announced that they'll continue to support Destiny on all of its current platforms and any future ones to come, and that there won't be any exclusive missions or content made just for PlayStation. They say, "We remain in charge of our destiny. We will continue to independently publish and creatively develop our games. We will continue to drive one unified Bungie community. Our games will continue to be where our community is, wherever they choose to play. With Sony's support, the most immediate change you'll see is in an acceleration in hiring talent across the entire studio to support our ambitious vision." So ultimately, Destiny and their future games will be Bungie games and not just PlayStation ones, which is good news for the gamer. But what are those other games? Well, here on this channel, it might interest you to know that Bungie's next game will be a competitive one that is far deeper in esports and PvP than Destiny or Halo have ever been. They've trademarked Matter alongside this press image, and apparently it'll be a competitive game with a focus on character-based combat like Overwatch or Rainbow Six Siege, and they signed a $100 million deal with NetEase to help make it happen. This will be a huge departure for Bungie because Halo always followed the central character of Master Chief, and then in multiplayer, it was just a soulless Spartan. Then, of course, Destiny is the story of your Guardian, but has much more of an MMORPG experience with a PvP element. Matter will be Bungie's biggest push on the billion-dollar esports world in a game that you can expect lots of coverage about here on the channel, if I'm honest, because I think with their track record and supporting revenue like 100 million from NetEase and now 3.6 billion from Sony, it'll be a mega hit for the PvP crowd. Now, people are asking, if Bungie is staying multi-platform, then why did Sony even bother purchasing them? It's for the same reason Microsoft bought Minecraft. Bungie builds franchises and ones that have a lot of staying power, and they've had a ton of success with live service, and right now, Sony really doesn't have an ongoing super successful live service game in their portfolio. As far as the acquisition though, this is far from the end. Jeff Keighley, the host and creator of the Game Awards, has been tweeting about even more negotiations that are currently in their final stages, and more companies will be announcing mergers. And guys, I think Ubisoft could end up being one of those companies in negotiation, and I think Microsoft could be looking to pick them up. That's mostly based on the fact that Extraction launched day one on Game Pass, they collaborated on all of the Far Cry 6 marketing, and Ubisoft Plus is coming to Xbox consoles. So you'll be able to play all of Ubisoft's games through subscription on an Xbox. So it's not over. Gaming is changing in some huge ways, and consolidation like this is only the start here. Now, finally guys, onward to Rainbow Six Siege. The latest and most hyped event all year is here with the return of the Road to SI playlist. It'll be available for 3 weeks and include 2 maps this time, a night version of 2020's SI map and a modified version of 2021's map. All operators will be available to play, and it'll conclude right as the 6th Invitational is underway. Now, I personally love this event each year. It's actually my most played event throughout the year, and it's because they usually blend 2 fan favorite maps together and make an all new experience alongside the core Siege gameplay. Now, it does get sweaty, and for most of the other events, that would be a little frustrating, but this one is all about the highest competition all year, and so it makes sense. As for the 6th Invitational, it is a key point for the game, and out of any year, I think year 7 is the most important. Year 6 has been a tough year for everyone involved, and there's not been too many truly exciting updates throughout the year to keep people engaged. Also, a lot of stuff that was promised in year 6 still hasn't made it to the game, like the reputation system. And so for year 7, alongside new ops and features, I'm really hoping we see things like the rep system and the Goyo rework that were discussed for this year. But above everything else, it's a must that we get a new map. From a ranked standpoint, things are very stale because the same 4 or 5 maps are always played due to map ban. And also the fact that it's been since the original release of Outback at the start of year 4 that we've seen a new map. And so it's been 3 years, guys, and people are hungry for it. Now, it has been announced that year 7 will move into a hybrid mode for map releases. It'll have a mixture of new maps as well as reworked ones, so I wouldn't expect all 4 seasons to have a new map offering, but it's almost guaranteed that there will be at least one. Year 7 should also see the release of the shooting range that's been promised for a while, and we know it'll include destruction and operator interactions. So that's a lot of stuff, and hopefully with a new director and a strong roadmap for Rainbow Six Siege, it could be an epic year. So that's the video, guys. Remember to toss a like on it if you enjoyed it, and subscribe with notifications to stay up to date with everything here on the channel. Thanks for watching. Hey, I'm out.